everybody, it's Katie, and today we are continuing our Vault Dweller from Fallout costume. Back in October we hinted at this by showing you how to dye this, but we never actually showed you how we made it. So today, with the help of my friend Kyle, we're going to show you how.
First thing we had to do was to dye light suit, and it came out great.
I think it came out blue.
It did come out blue, but it came out a wonderful shade of blue. So what I'm hoping to do today is to fill in a little bit more details in the event that you want to do something very similar to what I did. So we have videos that will show, and the suit itself is a Rothco brand flight suit. You'll find also a lot of information about people being confused about sizing on them. I'm 5'9", about 150 pounds, and I put on a medium, and it fit fine, but it was a touch small. So you can kind of use that as a guideline for about what size you need to buy. I think it gave the look that that was close enough. I like that it has a nice little Velcro patch panel that is not really canon to the outfit, but I could put a Stay Classy patch on there, and I thought that was really cool.
Is that part of the costume?
Not really, but you can kind of, the nice thing about the Vault Dweller outfit is you can make it kind of your own. It's not really supposed to be anything specifically. You can sort of adapt. There's a couple things that are key, but you can sort of adapt it to your own liking.
So I could put a giant duck on mine.
You could put a giant duck on your Vault Dweller outfit. We'll cut to those now.
For the back numbers of the Vault Dweller, we are going to be cutting out fabric on our Silohette Cameo. And for this, we're actually going to use paper to do some test numbers to make sure we get the correct proportions on the back of the shirt for the numbers. I'm using just a normal cutting board that I've had forever. They look like this, new in the package. I have one for paper and one for fabric cutting. And you also want to make sure you change the blades in your Silohette because you have the fabric one and you have the regular paper one. So I already have the paper one in here. And we're going to start by just putting our paper on the Silohette and kind of pushing it down because, like I said, mine is old. So you want to make sure it is really adhered to it. And then we're going to open it. Load it in. Hit the enter button. And then we are going to start cutting. We've cut out our numbers in paper and we taped them on, and Kyle put it on to make sure that they were the correct height, and we've confirmed they're good. So now we are going to start prepping our canvas material, and the canvas, to put it in the Silohette Cameo, we have to use a backing for it so the material doesn't stretch and fray and we get the actual shape we want. So we have our 805 Pellon Wonder Under. You can buy this at Joann's, that's where we got it from. And we're gonna cut it to the same length as our material, and then we're gonna iron it on. So your Wonder Under, it has two sides. It has a smooth side and a rough side. You want to lay the smooth side down on your ironing board, and you're gonna have the rough side up. So rough side to your wrong side of your material. Ours doesn't have a right and a wrong, so it doesn't really matter which way you put it. And then we are gonna take a hot, dry iron, and we're gonna press it down on the material for 5 to 8 seconds to adhere it. And that's,
Good.
the Wonder Under ironed onto our yellow material. And now we're just gonna stick it down to our Cameo board, like so. And I'm using one of my boards that I specifically mark for fabric. So if it gets a little bit of fuzzy fabric on it, it's not a problem. Just push it down really well. And I'm gonna load it in. pinned all along the numbers to make sure that they were correct on the back. And we kind of did them out of order because the Wonder Under has plastic, or has a piece of paper under it, and you should actually take this off first before pinning it on to make sure the size is right. So I am actually just doing it in parts and just cutting it like that. You can see we already did part of it and fused it down. So just to make your life a little easier, do those. Take the paper off first.
Let me get close up on this.
I'm sewing. I'm just sewing the yellow strip onto the flight suit. I'm using a normal top stitch. Got yellow thread.
That was a
good face.
That was a good face.
So now I'm sewing on the numbers, and I'm just gonna do a normal top stitch, just a straight line across it. And we're doing this because we like the rough edging on it, but we're just looking for something a little more durable, because you can see the iron-on isn't perfect. It'll pop off a little bit. We are just folding down the yellow canvas material, and then I'm gonna pin it, and we're pinning them straight in line, and we're just gonna sew it down. And that's about what's happening here.
Thing that's very important is the Pip-Boy. So this is a 3D printed polymer. The model itself was acquired from a website called ytech3d.com, which we will post a link to. I had a 3D printer and we printed it on that, and it turned out great. Little word of advice, well, a couple modifications I made to it. Well, for one, it's sort of designed for people with small wrists, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. On your 3D printer, you can scale it up potentially. So I've got this on a hinge, just with black straps to hold it onto my arm. And then I have some neodymium magnets to hold it closed. And I actually had to use 4 of them to keep it closed. I made a couple other modifications too. The front 3 LED panels, I wired up a little light, which I purchased from sparkfun.com, and they have this nice little button battery switch and a little button battery that I turn on, and it makes a little glowy light. So that's really fun. The last modification that I made throughout the project, and this takes a little bit of time, is that the model comes by default with holes for screws. What I did is I milled out where the holes were and used machine nuts and machine screws and basically glued them in. This allows me to assemble and disassemble the Pip-Boy so that I can put my phone in it when the time's appropriate. It was a little bit time consuming, but I think it really improved the accessibility and the usability of the Pip-Boy model. Obviously when you 3D print it, it won't come painted, so for the purposes of painting, and I've never actually painted a model before, and it was surprisingly easy to do. I used a base coat of green spray paint. You can go to your local hardware store and find a color that you think is an appropriate match. The next thing I did was took a bottle of brown acrylic paint, just the cheap stuff that you can get anywhere, and I basically, this is a clean paintbrush, but anywhere where dirt might accumulate, the different cracks and crevices and holes and grooves, I painted with the brown paint. And then once the brown paint was in, it was still a little bit wet, I took a paper towel and rubbed in the grooves. So the brown paint only stayed in areas where dirt would accumulate. And that gave it a really dirty look. Some of the brown paint lingered on the surface as well, and it just gives it sort of a grungy, dirty, been in the wasteland for a while look. The final thing I did was took a aluminum colored enamel and dry brushed it on the edges where there might be metal wear. There's a high spot or corners or anywhere where there might be nicks. I just painted with this silver aluminum enamel, and it turned out outstanding. So, you know, for something that I painted for the very first time, I think it came out great. So that's how I made the Pip-Boy. License plate spalders. These were very simple to make. I basically acquired the license plates on eBay. You can look up vintage license plates on eBay and find basically anything, and I found some that were suitably grungy and rusty and gross. And I like this one because it fit with the color scheme of everything else. Holes in them for when you mount them to a car. All I did was took just bolts and screws, or bolts and nuts, I guess, and just stuck them through the holes and screwed them in, and it gives that sort of rough look. All of the surfaces were artificially rusted using a compound of vinegar and degreaser and a couple other things. You can find that on the internet as well as how to accelerate the rusting on some sort of metal. And then the license plates are attached to a belt, which I think bolts basically just go through the holes on the belt, and there's no other fancy securing methods. They just basically sit on your shoulder, and I was surprised that something this simple actually stays put. As a little bit of added extra flair, I found this sort of bullet bandolier thing on Amazon, and it came to me all nice and clean, and I roughed it up with sandpaper. And it came with these fake bullets, so that was pretty cool. And that is how I made the license plate spalders. I needed some sort of belt. I felt like it was necessary to sort of bring the outfit together. This was some Vietnam era web gear that I had laying around that I just sort of hobbled together. You know, to complete the outfit, there's nothing really specific. You can kind of make it your own. I already had this laying around, so I figured I'd use it. It's just Vietnam era belt, Vietnam era magazine pouch, and some other era magazine pouch for a completely different firearm. But I think I like it better if it's mismatched. It seems a little bit more chaotic. You can probably find a lot of this stuff at your local military surplus store, and it doesn't have to look like anything in particular. It just kind of have to look old and mismatched, at least in my opinion. So really easy to acquire, not a whole lot of money to get, and I think it really brings the outfit together. Pair this with some black boots is what I wore when I did my outfit, and you have kind of the complete ensemble. So that was all the parts I used in accessory to this lovely jumpsuit that we are.
The complete guide on how to make your very own Vault Dweller outfit. We'll leave links in the description below so you guys can see kind of some of the components of where he got the things for this outfit. The Vault Dweller does not have a cool tagline, but if he did, his tagline would be, give this video a big thumbs up and hit subscribe.